Andy McDonald.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's a privilege to speak in this debate and to follow my honourable friend from Sunderland, a superb opening to our debate. Nonetheless, it's a great shame that we're here once again holding another debate on the UK's recognition of Palestinian statehood, almost 8 years after this House voted formally to adopt the position, because the British government is yet to do the right thing and abide by that historic decision. But what's more dispiriting is the way in which the situation on the ground in Israel and in the occupied Palestinian territories has further deteriorated over these past 8 years, meaning that the prospect of peace in the region looks more distant than ever. In May 2021 alone, during the violence that was sparked by the racist eviction of Palestinian families from the East Jerusalem neighbourhood of Sheikh Jarrah, the UN reported that 256 Palestinians were killed, at least 129 of those civilians, including 66 children, and also 10 Israelis, plus 3 foreign nationals, including 2 children. But the killing has not let up. Just this week, a 14-year-old Palestinian boy, Mohammed Shahada, was killed by Israeli forces' gunfire at Al-Qada near Bethlehem. This followed the killing of 19-year-old Nahed Amin Barghouti, who last week was shot in the abdomen by Israeli troops in a village near Ramallah. And over the past year, the Israeli human rights organisation B'Tselem recorded 77 Palestinian deaths at the hands of Israeli forces in the West Bank, with half of those killed not being implicated in any attacks. And these killings have come after the Israeli government advanced its plans in recent months to build more than 3,000 new homes in illegal settlements across the occupied West Bank. With each illegal home the Israelis construct, the dream of a viable Palestinian state is dealt another blow, as settlements are established intentionally to stop contiguous geographical connection between Palestinian communities living in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. The Palestinian people are subjected to yet more intolerable brutality and oppression, with Israeli forces standing idly by or even protecting settlers whilst they attack Palestinian civilians. B'Tselem has documented that there have been over 450 incidents of settler violence against Palestinians over the past 2 years, with Israeli forces failing to intervene to stop the attacks in 2/3 of these cases. The organisation has also recorded how settlers have been used as a tool of the state to expropriate 11 square miles of Palestinian farm and pasture land in the West Bank over the past 5 years alone. Palestinian rural communities in the South Hebron Hills are under sustained attack from settlers in the illegal outposts such as Shavat Ma'on and Abigail, with the sole intent of pushing them off their land to make way for further Israeli domination and control. Another Israeli human rights group, Yesh Din, summarising 15 years of monitoring investigations into settler violence, found that of more than 1,200 investigation files, indictments were served in only 100 of these. There is no other way to look at this than as a state-sanctioned project of colonisation and ethnic cleansing. As the Human Rights Watch report published in April last year concluded, the Israeli government has demonstrated an intent to maintain the domination of Israelis over Palestinians across Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. In those territories, including East Jerusalem, that intent has been coupled with systematic oppression of Palestinians and inhuman acts committed against them. When these three elements occur together, they amount to the crime of apartheid. As simple as that. We must see a change. We must see the oppression of the Palestinian people met with material consequences and meaningful accountability. And, Madam Deputy Speaker, if this government won't act, it's perfectly proper for the civil society in this country to take the action that they determine. But like those who supported apartheid in South Africa, those malign voices who oppose this will come to learn that they are on the wrong side of history. But as well as the recognition of the Palestinian state alongside Israel, we need actions and sanctions. and we need these now.